Back crypto family, this is XRP before $10,000, 10th life edition, episode 21. Let's go. So today is 6/23/2025. We are going to get into our book, but I just want to mention today XRP is under $2. So if you're not already buying, bro, lock in, family. I know a lot of us get paid every 2 weeks, so like I understand, but if you got money, bullseye. If you got money, you should be buying in right now. You should be buying in right now. There's no reason you're not. But man, so like, yes, I do the crypto thing, I do the self-healing, I do all that stuff, and I mentioned I do fashion too, but a lot of y'all don't know I make music, right? And right now I'm editing this music video, and once this crypto goes off, my music is gonna take off too, because once I get all the traffic from my videos, once XRP hits 10K, this song I'm making right now is gonna blow up. And mark my words, it's called Afterthought. It's by Numb Friend. Today is 6/23/2025. Let's watch it real quick. I'm editing it. It's not all the way done, so it might be a little choppy, but watch.
No, she know that I'm insane, and she said I make her crazy. Pay me, anything I watch, not a baby. Say cheese, when we get on camera, can you say, please save me? I need a hallelujah, let my soul breathe. Afterthoughts in the silence of it all. Them shadows calling, I'ma go. I'ma disappear, no notice ever shown. It'll be okay, only after a while when you're cracking and smiling, you're having a very good day. Yes, I had to be this way. No. I ain't the one that makes the rules and really even gets to decide. I'm not in these things happen before I get to rob.
So right now, that's what I'm working on. I've been editing all day, for real, low key, because basically I have a team that I'm working with, my cousins and stuff, but I'm gonna get the basics of it kind of laid out, so when they come in and add the VHS and things like that, I already will have half the work. But yeah, guys, let's look at the price actually. Like, let's look at the official price of this coin. I think it's gonna go below $1, bro. At this point, if they're gonna manipulate it properly, I think it's gonna go under $1, which is insane. You should be buying in, bro. It's just a mind game, y'all. Ladies, gentlemen, it's just a mind game. You ever been with someone that plays games? It's the same type of thing. Price today, y'all. What? Okay, I was like, no, the fuck it's not. It's at $2.01 right now. $2.02 right now. Oh Lord. I hope it doesn't just like take off from right here. I hope it just keeps going down. But that's where we're at, guys. Yeah, that's where we're at, y'all. Man, y'all don't know how excited I am. I get to go to court on Wednesday for this restraining order. And I'm ready. I'm so ready to just get this annoying part of my life behind me. Justice needs to be served, you know. Like, bro, I got fucking held hostage, stabbed up, tortured, and then the girl tried to attempt to murder me again. Like, I deserve my justice, you feel me? Like, oh, you a bitch sending the girl to jail. No, I'm not, bro. That's a demon, brother. If I don't do it, she's gonna murder somebody, and that's gonna be on my mind. Like, imagine if I just, didn't, and then the next thing I know, 3 years later, it's like, oh, she went to prison because she murdered somebody. Dude, that would be literally my fault. The first time around, I already told them no, because they were gonna give her 15 years the first time she held me hostage and tortured me. But, I was still like in trauma mode and love, hurt, and fear. So it didn't go exactly how it should have went. But, oh Lord. Some of that devil's lettuce. But anyways, But anyways, y'all, what we're doing tonight, we're gonna get in our book. And man, I went to church. Ooh, why did I do that? Oh no. Why did I do that? I don't know where it went. Anyways, oh, there it is. I went to church today, and it's just, I just love going to church, like, for real. Ever since I got saved, it's just been a part of me, like, for real. And it feels good. Well, yeah, anyways, we were kind of cut off last night due to my memory, or this morning due to my memory. So we're reading The Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz. We are on chapter 3, Spotting the Parasite. We're just going to go over this part again. And then we're going to stop at chapter 4. All right. So let's just do it. You guys hear the birds. It's beautiful. Spotting the parasite. While the parasite operates internally, it strengthens itself by paying attention and latching on to the negative external talk in the dream of the planet. Negative external talk is anything you hear in conversations that attempts to impose conditional love. When someone is using the power of his or her words to try to subjugate you or fill your mind with doubt, this can in turn feed your parasite. Even an offhand remark in the right, or in this case, wrong tone, can have a powerful effect. Nice shirt, someone might say sarcastically. The moment before, am I getting bit by a mosquito? All right. Nice shirt, someone might say sarcastically. The moment before, you may have been perfectly happy with your shirt, but all of a sudden, you begin to internalize the other person's projections, and self-doubt creeps in. Your internal voice becomes negative, and you lose confidence in your voice. You look down and think, they're right, I don't really like this shirt either. You are now judging yourself based off of someone else's opinion. And I used to do that for real. Like, not in a while, but like when I was younger, I used to really do that and get in my head. The easiest way for someone to control your will is for you to give them permission to do so. Because you doubt your own capacity to make a choice, this is why domestication is so effective. To be clear, this doesn't mean you don't welcome other people's perspectives and listen to constructive criticism. The difference is intent. When you are aware of the power of the word, you are careful to separate fact from opinion. And as a master of self, you decide if that opinion of another is also true for you. When domestication occurs, you listen to others' opinions and mislabel them as facts, accepting them as truths without fully examining them. So a lot of people really do that. Like, you'd be surprised. Like, a lot of people you think are really confident, just the littlest things could like just throw their whole day off. This occurs in your personal dream when you speak against yourself in your own mind, and is commonly referred to as beating yourself up. So if you like, and hear this, if you're always like, I suck, or fuck, I'm just not good enough, or I hate myself, or I just need to kill myself, and things like that, bro, that's not healthy. You gotta start talking to yourself better. Like, please, just start talking to yourself better. In the Toltec tradition, it's understood as the act of using the words of the parasite as conditions for your own self-love and self-acceptance. This internal negativity stems from within. For example, you might look at yourself in the mirror and decide that you're having a bad hair day, or that your pants are looking too tight, or you might find some other physical characteristic to take issue with. Your internal voice may tell you that you don't look good and you're not going to impress anyone out there. A lot of people do this, especially when they look good too. Y'all ever seen like a pretty woman or a good looking man, and like, you know they look good or whatever, but it's like they don't know they look good? Like, with a lot of women, I've seen a lot of women that just don't think they're pretty when they're like drop dead gorgeous, and it's just crazy. But that's that internal voice. Without awareness of how you are speaking to yourself, you may spiral out of control, and that is simply from a bad hair Oh, my bad. All right, and that simple bad hair day can turn into a tirade of negative self-judgments, with you calling yourself ugly, fat, unworthy, etc. In that moment, the parasite has taken over your attention and pulled you deep into the fog, using the power of your words against yourself. If unrecognized, negative talk, both external and internal, can inhabit the power of your attention and lead you deeper into the fog. So if you catch yourself talking negative, oh my God. If you catch yourself talking negative all the time about yourself, you gotta switch that up. Like, you got to. How can you expect anyone to fuck with you if you don't even fuck with yourself? Like, just think about that. If unrecognized, negative talk, both external and internal, can inhabit the power of your intent and lead you deeper into the fog. If you accept the negative talk as fact without separating truth from opinion, this can become a part of your personal story, leaving the parasite in charge the majority of the time, and thereby limiting who you think you are and what you believe you are capable of. A master of self is adept at spotting and releasing the voice of the parasite, and can actually change that voice to one of an ally. Doing so begins with making a commitment to unconditional self-love. This means you become willing to love every aspect of yourself without judgment or conditions, especially the parts of yourself that you often wish you were different. Unconditional self-love lies within each and every one of us, regardless of our past circumstances and domestication, and that's true. Like, I used to beat myself up so bad because I had died inside for 9 years. And like, I was just like, I hate myself. Like, I don't know. It was hard, y'all. Like, it was so hard. We will look at some specific ways to bring unconditional love to yourself in a moment. But before we do so, let's be clear on what does not work. First, the parasite cannot defeat itself. In other words, negative self-talk cannot be overcome with more negative self-talk. For example, at my workshop and lectures, people in the past have approached me with a look of consternation and said something like, "I'm so disappointed in myself. I can't believe I have been on the Toltec path for years and I'm still taking things personally." And yeah, y'all can't beat y'allself up. Like, bro, I was trying to become undead inside for 9 years and it barely happened. Like, I was beating myself up though. It's like, I almost kind of lost hope for real on not being dead inside, but here I am. Implicit in the comment is the idea that the speaker is failing in their practice, and you have to hear a sneaky voice of the parasite in the background. Where this statement is coming through the eyes of unconditional self-love, this person would approach me with a smile and say, "You know, I have been on the Toltec path for years, and I notice that I still take things personally sometimes. I'm doing my best, but do you have any thoughts on overcoming this hurdle?" This is exactly what you could have said. Exactly. You know what? I'm going to put this out there because I have something that actually relates to this. So basically, I went to the courthouse to take my grandma to get her ticket paid, right? And I've been to the courthouse like 3 or 4 times that week because I was getting my restraining order and other things done, right? And every time I went in there, not one officer asked me to take my do-rag off, right? They asked me for my keys, you know, wallet, things, belt, whatever. All right. But not one time did they ask me to take my do-rag off. And then when I went with my grandma, right, the dude asked me to take my do-rag off, and I just questioned him. Like, of course I'm going to question him. I was like, do I have to? Because I didn't want to take my do-rag off. Like, bro, that's like asking an old lady to take her wig off, bro. Like, my hair is in a do-rag because it's not done. Like, it's just nappy right now. So I had to take it off. Like, I don't care if I have to really take it off. I just was wondering. So I was like, so why did I have to take it off, right? Like, why do I need to take it off? They didn't make me the other times. And the officer was like, "Oh, because you look suspicious." Bro, like, you just can't, as a white man, like, respectfully, like, just anyone, bro, but like, I'm half black, I'm half white, and it just doesn't look right, you know, because like, people see me as a black man, so it's like, when a white cop is like, "You look suspicious," it's kind of like, bro, who says that? And me, the way I handled it though, because I took it as like racism, because it's like, shit was just uncalled for. He was like, "You look suspicious, like a suspicious person." So I was like, okay, well, I'm taking it off, but you're weird, dude. Like, you need to go seek God. And so I told him, I was like, I'm gonna be back here, bro. I'm gonna get your name. I'm gonna talk to your boss, cause you're really weird, bro. And I went on my way, and like the dude just fucking smiling and shit, like just being petty as fuck. And there's this black lady behind him, and she's just like, you could see her in her eyes, like she was in that like get out mode. Her eyes were like, get out, get out. So I got help my grandma, you know, figure her ticket stuff out, and I came back out, right? And I walked back up, and I was like, let me get your badge number. He's like, I don't have a badge number. He had a name, and I was like, okay. He was like, do you want me to get my supervisor? And I was like, yeah, I do actually. So I talked to the supervisor, right? And I was just explaining to the supervisor, I'm like, he called me suspicious, and I asked him about the do-rag. All he had to say to me is, oh, that's how my coworkers do it, but I like a little extra security. And I would have took my thing off and be like, oh, okay, a little extra security shit. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. But no, he went to the, oh, you look suspicious. And I just thought that was disrespectful. So I asked his boss, and I was like, I'm gonna make a report. And his boss was like, please don't make a report. I'm begging you, man. I guess the cop got in trouble before, and that's why he's in there. And he's just like, he's really trying hard, man. Blah, 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 blah. Going on, basically like begging me not to. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to. Just give me his name. I'm gonna pray for him tonight. But I need you to talk to him. Tell him I said I love him and God bless him, but he needs to get his shit together. And I went my way. I didn't make a report. And I prayed for the dude. Hopefully his boss told him what I said, but it's just ways you guys can go about saying things, really. Like the dude, he just said something in a negative way. And that's basically like in this book. You can't always think negative about everything. You just gotta be positive. It's about, and you guys don't really like get it. Like this manifestation and shit, the power of your mouth is so powerful. Like it's so powerful, you could do anything. Like I'm already telling y'all right now, I'm a successful fashion designer. Lord Cleor, y'all gonna see that later on. I have a street brand called Eye of Cleos, but that I'm not really focused on that right now. But like I'm gonna take off in music, I'm gonna take off in fashion, I'm gonna take off in being a public speaker, I'm gonna have a family eventually. I'm telling y'all all these things because God told me, and I mean I've been manifesting this for a while, but yeah, he told me all of that. But let's get back to the book. So yeah, so he was basically saying like he could have just said it in a better way, right? And then he said the change in the latter is apparent as the ally is talking instead of the parasite. So whenever you're being positive, that's not the parasite. The parasite is the one that's inside of you being negative all the time. The ally speaks from a place of unconditional love, while the parasite speaks from a place of conditional love. Because negative self-talk is based on conditional love, any attempt to transform the parasite with more negative self-talk is a subtle way for the parasite to actually strengthen itself. The key of transforming the parasite into an ally is to bring unconditional love to all of yourself, including the parasite. When you feed the parasite with unconditional love, you transform it into an ally using the power of your word to change your mind and your life. The dream of the planet is a word of polarities. And remember that word, the dream of the planet. This planet is a dream. The spiritual world is the real thing. But yeah, the dream of the planet is a world of polarities, where something is known only in relation to its opposite. Light is defined in reflection to dark. Up in the reflection is down, night to day, etc. Up in relation to down, night to day, etc. It's just talking about the opposites. Without one, we wouldn't know the other. An instance of opinion, like hot and cold, tall and short, good and bad, assessments are based on our perception, as what is deemed good by one person may be interpreted as bad by someone else. I am aware that when I say something, I am both right and wrong, and at the same time, because the perception of the individual who listens to me will determine the validity of what I say according to their point of view, and they are free to do so. I celebrate that. I get what he's saying. Like, Same though, like when I ask people questions or I'm talking with someone about a topic, if we don't agree, I'm not gonna be upset. I'm not gonna be upset at all. Like, I'm right and you're right, you know, because we're all in our own world. So I can just be like, I don't agree with it, but okay. And that's how you have to go with things. You don't always have to fight somebody just because they don't agree with you, or they think you're a way that you're not. You don't have to fight them. You can agree to disagree. That's the best you could do. But yeah, I celebrate that. Thus, I am only responsible for the clarity and integrity of what I say, not what others hear and feel. Because I don't control others' perception, this is incredible power inherent in our minds, and the vehicle we use to express that power is our word. A master of self recognizes the power of the word, and he knows that every single judgment the parasite utters can be transformed and used by the ally. Making the switch to do so is unconditional self-love in action. While many people choose to listen and focus on the voice of the parasite, it's critical that you train your mind to see through the eyes of the ally. There is no better place to do this than in your own personal story. My friend and teaching partner, Heather Ash Amara, has a beautiful example. In her book, Warrior Goddess, training of how she consciously changed her narrative, My friend and teacher partner, Heather Ash Amara, has a beautiful example in her book, Warrior Goddess. Goddess. Training on how she consciously changed her narrator from the parasite to the ally. Here is the parasite perspective she began with. Okay, finally. A little tongue twister. I was traumatized as a child by how often my family moved. I went to 8 different schools and lived in 4 different countries. Damn. I went to like 9 schools, but it was never like different countries. It's like different cities. One time went to a school for a week, man. And my mom changed us. It's crazy. That school, they had all the shit. A PE class, they had everything, bro. And I just had to go. Shit hurt my soul. Like the first day, bro, I got there, we were already doing the little scooters, like the little scooters you push and sit down on. So I knew the school was lit. And the cafeteria food was straight too, man. That hurt my soul. But anyways, I went to 8 different schools and lived in 4 different countries: Singapore, Hong Kong, United States, and Thailand. By the time I was 16, we would move every 2 years or so. I started off at each school feeling painfully shy and disconnected and alone. By the second year, I would have made friends and found my groove, and then we would move again, and the cycle would start over. Because of the many times I moved away from friends, I had a hard time connecting with people intimately, and I'm afraid of being abandoned. Every time I told my story, I felt depressed. Wouldn't you? Yeah, that sounds depressing. After Heather Ash began her apprenticeship with my father, she began to see and tell her story through the eyes of the ally. Notice the shift in perspective based on the same facts. I was blessed as a child with an adventurous family. We moved every 2 years and traveled around the world every summer. I spent most of my childhood going to great international schools in South Asia. And by the time I was 16, my family had visited or lived in 20 different countries, including Thailand, Singapore, India, Egypt, Italy, and Spain. Because of the many times we moved and traveled, I learned to be incredibly flexible and to deeply love the diversity and creativity of humans. My childhood experience helped me relate to many different perspectives, to make friends easily, and to celebrate change. Every time I told this new story, I felt a sense of adventure and lots of gratitude. But y'all see how that's the same exact story, but they saw it in a positive way, but the other person, they saw it in a negative way. So it really is like, this is why unconditional love is so powerful, because once you love yourself, you're not going to be looking for love from other people. So it's like the filter on life, just everything is beautiful. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know what I was going to explain, but just know it's like a filter you get put over your life, and everything you do is fun, beautiful, pleasing. But when you're like depressed and you're looking for love, you might run into lust, bad people, who knows? As you can see, the facts stay the same, but the story is dramatically different. Do you see the power of perception? The following exercises will help you practice transforming your parasites into your allies. Alright, let's go. Releasing judgment. Look at yourself in the mirror and notice all the self-judgments that arise in the next few moments. Does a voice inside you say that your nose is too big? Too small? Do you not like your body size? Or your complexion? Take a moment to listen to those judgments. Your emotions will let you know which ones affect you the most, as the stronger the negative feeling, the more attached you are to that judgment. And that's why we get so attached, man, to toxic relationships, bro. This right here. Write the judgment that incites the strongest emotional response on a piece of paper. It's very important that you write this down. You'll understand why in a moment. So y'all do that right now if you want to. Okay. Next, take a moment to remember the many instances and when you have used the judgment against yourself. For me, my mom used to tell me to kill myself all the time. Like, way too fucking much. My sister told me to kill myself. My brother told me to kill myself. But that's just the family I came up in. I'm not saying I'm the golden child. But, yeah, bro. And did I ever tell them to kill themselves? No. I never told them that. But yeah, next, take a moment to remember the many instances when you have used this judgment against yourself. I used to say that to myself sometimes too because I got so used to saying it. Perhaps this thought, I got so used to hearing it. Perhaps this thought has been repeated in your mind for years and years. Now you can investigate the source of this judgment and identify how it has affected your actions in the dream planet underneath. In the dream planet, all right. Underneath the judgment, write down your answers to the following questions. Is this a judgment you learned from someone else? Can you remember when you learned it and from whom? Have you repeated this judgment about yourself to someone else? How has this judgment shaped your actions? Have you denied yourself opportunities or failed to take risks because of it? Now read the responses and then ask yourself this very important question. Do you still want to let this judgment control your life? Me? No. I don't want to kill myself, bro. No. I'm not letting this control me. I'm over it, man. I'm saved. If you are reading all your responses, and your answer is yes to the last question, then this is an attachment that has become a part of your identity. It shapes who you are, and you are not ready to let it go. This is fine. If it is truly what you want, perhaps you will come back to this later at a later point to find that you are no longer need this belief. And that's true. Like, even my last relationship, like, I was tied to the belief that I needed to be with that woman. But honestly, I'm so much better off without her. Like, my life is so much more peaceful. If you answer no to this last question, If you answer no to this last question, then you see the written judgment as something that is not part of you. It is a piece of paper with words on it, nothing more. Realize that judgment is only in front of you now because you are implicitly it is only right in front of you now because you have implicitly agreed with it all along. True. Now that the time has come to let this go, and the first step is to forgive yourself for using it against you all those times. Yep. And I am sorry, Cedric, for saying you should kill yourself because you never needed to, man. When you are ready to release this judgment, say the following statement out loud. I, Cedric, or blank, have used my negative self-talk to subjugate myself with conditional love. I forgive myself for doing so, and I would no longer let this false belief go. Crumble up the paper and throw it in the trash. This is a sacred act of letting this false belief go because you no longer believe it. So basically, if you have these beliefs about yourself and they're negative, write them down, put it on a piece of paper, ball it up, and throw it in the trash. It's no longer a part of you, family. You are who you need to be. You don't need that. Throw it away and do it. And do it. Don't just say it. Actually do it, because you're going to remember the act of doing it. Remember, beliefs don't exist out there. In the world, they exist only in your mind, and only as long as you continue to believe them. Every time find yourself falling back into the self-judgment on this issue, repeat this statement of forgiveness again. Do so, the act of bringing unconditional love to yourself. You have already, let's see. You have already paid the price for the self-judgment. You don't need this. You don't need to do so anymore. As my father says, true justice is paying for something once. Injustice is paying for it over and over again. Through self-forgiveness, you can stand up and start fresh. Self-forgiveness is always the key, and unconditional self-love gives you that opportunity. Repeat this exercise when you are ready for each and every judgment you listed initially. And this is so true. Once you guys have unconditional love, I promise you will never get with a toxic person again. And if you, let's say you came across one, you would probably be like, ew, like, no, I don't need that. I love myself. I don't need conditional love. All right, so changing the attributes. What stories are you carrying around about past events? Do you recount these stories through the eyes of your parasite or your ally? Think about the story of your life for a moment. What are the main elements? How do you tell your story to yourself and others? Notice the places in your story that you often tell through the eyes of the parasite, and write the portion of your story down. Next, rewrite that same portion of your story, but this time through the eyes of your ally. See the excerpt from my friend Heather Ash Amara earlier in the chapter as an example. If you're like most people, you'll find it's often easier to write through the eyes of the parasite than the ally. And this demonstrates the power of domestication, attachment, and conditional love have over you. Writing from the ally's perspective can be more difficult, but reframing your life events in this way allows you to see the gifts in every past experience. In the end, our narrators are simply storytellers. They tell stories about the events in our lives and interpret them in either a positive or negative way. Depending upon which one is in charge, a master of self sees the events of life through the eyes of the ally instead of the parasite. As doing so is a way of expressing unconditional self-love. This is the power you have to direct and redirect your attention to and from different focal points. Once you have unconditional love for yourself, you can then offer it to others. This is the subject of the next chapter, and that's true. Now that I love myself, I can give amazing love to somebody. Like the most incredible, passionate love ever. And that's a beautiful thing. Chapter 4 is next. Unconditional love for others. And we're going to get into that. But yeah, basically, y'all, if you have negative thoughts about yourself, write them down on a piece of paper. These negative thoughts are not true. You got the parasite. You're acting like the parasite right now. You need to speak positive to yourself and start being more like the ally. Start being more like your partner instead of your enemy all the time. But yeah, write down the negative things you've been saying. Write them on paper, ball it up, throw it away. It's over. Start new. You need to start loving yourself. If you didn't read from our past book, basically it talked about the mastery of love, right? And it talked about this magical kitchen. It said, what if you had this magical kitchen in your heart and it made unlimited pizzas? And then one day someone came up to you and was like, hey, I'll give you one piece of pizza if you let me control you. Are you gonna do it? No. You have unlimited pizza. I'm not gonna let someone control me when I have a whole magical pizza kitchen in my heart for one piece of pizza. So that's basically the same thing. If you have a kitchen full of love in your heart, if someone offered you one piece of love to let them control you, wouldn't. And that's the power of having self-love, and that's why it's important. Once you have self-love, nobody can control you. You can be yourself, and you can start expanding in the way that you want to in life. And this is why I'm helping you guys with this, because it's one thing to have God in your life, but once you actually have self-love, then God can actually use you in the way that he wants to, because you're no longer thinking like a parasite. And this is important, y'all, because when we get this money, all this money that we're about to get, you guys need to know how to love yourself, or you're gonna go downhill. I'm telling you, you're gonna go downhill real fucking quick. But yeah, guys, we're gonna end it there at 35 minutes. I gotta go to work soon. I gotta start doing this earlier, but it's like, you know, I just got shit, bro. I just got shit, but I'm gonna make it all. I'm gonna make it all work. I'm gonna get everything that I need to get done. But anyways, it's 6/23/2025. XRP's at $2.20. I mean, a lot of people think it's not gonna go to $20, but it's going to 10K. You heard it here first. I love y'all, crypto family. You know, tomorrow we're gonna do this again, and it might be longer. We're gonna start chapter 4. I don't know how long chapter 4 is, but we're gonna start it. But y'all remember, you need to start speaking highly of yourself. When you wake up, say, thank you, God, for everything you've done for me. I love myself so much. I'm such a great person. I'm so thoughtful and egoless, and I want better for others so that they can give more to me. And you just gotta be selfless. You gotta love yourself, empower yourself, but also be selfless at the same time. Yin and yang. Somehow I've actually mastered masculine energy and feminine energy. I've mastered it. I have mastered it. I have the perfect balance. But I love y'all. Good night, crypto family. We're going to the moon. Peace.